Was a little late on the trigger there, Wes. This is the Lowco Hoops Report. I am Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and we are back from holiday break. As brief as it was, we took a couple days off. That was about it. And now we're back at it because we got tournaments going on, a couple to round up from last week that finished up since we last talked to the people on the internets. And then a couple getting started tonight, the Orangeburg Sweet 16 tournament. We got others coming up this week that we'll preview a bit. But we do have some special guests coming in to help us break down that Orangeburg tournament where we did have 3 Lowco teams in action. Battery Creek, these are all boys games. Battery Creek lost to the host Orangeburg Wilkinson 75-38. That is a quality squad that the Bruins have. Whale Branch beat New Hope Leadership Academy 61-54. Kevin Jenkins had 18, Bradford Thompson 16, and David Evans with 13 for Whale Branch. And then Ridgeland Hardyville 71-53 over Airport. Ponce Capers with 27, and we're going to have him joining us momentarily as well as we break these down. But we got gosh, I'm blanking on your last name, Travis. So you're going to have to tell me when you get in here. Travis from the Times and Democrat, who has been out at North High School tonight, covered Ridgeland Hardyville as well as the North game, which North got the dub. So they'll face the Jags tomorrow. Travis, is it Matthews? Is that right?
Bowling.
Oh gosh, I didn't know it. That's why I was blanking on it. I didn't know it. You were just Travis T&D Travis or whatever you are on Twitter. But we appreciate the work you do up there in the Orangeburg area, and you're checking out the Sweet 16 tournament. So we appreciate you coming on to give us a little insight into the first day here. Looks like OW has a really strong squad, but Ridgeland getting a win today as well as Whale Branch from our neck of the woods. What'd you see on day one up there?
Ridgeland looks really good. The defense was really the story of the game. You know, they met Airport at the half court, and the Eagles couldn't do anything with it. And then that defense turned into offense, and they made a run in the first quarter. I think it was a 15-2 run, and just pretty much coasted from there.
Awesome stuff, and thanks for your help and helping us cover these holiday tournaments, because there's a lot going on in such a short time span. So we appreciate your help in this. And tell me about Ponce Capers. He was the star, 27 points. Kalen Riddles with 11 from what you reported on. But tell me what impressed you about Ponce. That's a dude that stepped up big time this year for the Jags.
Well, he can do a little bit of everything. He drove to the hoop. He had made mid-range jumpers, and he can step out and hit the three. I mean, he's a versatile guy that it's just hard to cover him. And he pretty much was able to do pretty much whatever he wanted to do tonight. So it'll be a little bit tougher tomorrow night against North. That's a team that likes to run up and down, and they like to trap. And I expect a lot of tired guys tomorrow night after that game.
Yeah, definitely. The deeper you get into these tournaments, especially the teams that like to push the pace a little bit. Yeah, man, you can start to get tired legs by the end of this thing. I wonder if some of them will back off the gas a little bit on day 2 and try to conserve a little bit, play a little bit different style. But I mean, you got to dance with the one that you brought, right? So I think you can overthink that a little bit. But as far as that matchup goes, North against Ridgeland, you got to see them back to back tonight. So how do you see that matchup kind of playing out?
Well, I've seen North about 3 or 4 times this year, and when they're making shots, they're hard to beat. But what they're going to do is they're going to run. I mean, that's what they do. They've had 2 weeks off without a game. It's been a lot of just practicing and conditioning, and coach told me he gave them the day off yesterday, but it was right back at it tonight. And I expect them to make it tough for Ridgeland to move the ball up the court. But there's that old adage, teams that like to press don't like to be pressed. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see which one handles the pressure the most.
Yeah, this is one of the better tournaments around here. You got 16 teams going ahead over a 4-day span, so a lot of basketball. But were you able to watch any other games or teams, and who else caught your eye over opening day of this event?
Well, there's 4 separate pods, so everybody played at 6 and 7:30 tonight. But I got the scores from the other pods if you want them.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
Edisto beat Branchville 69-59, so they'll play OW tomorrow.
Yeah. So
Who beat Battery
Branchville
Creek?
play
Y'all mentioned that
Creek.
one.
Yeah.
The score that really took my eye, Woodland beat Lee Central 53-42, and Woodland's had some really good wins early in the season. That's an interesting team to
Woodland's
watch.
quality. They were a really quality team last year. Gave Wade Hampton. They played a couple just crazy games against Wade Hampton. I think they're interesting. They're always super athletic. They like to go too, but they can slow down and play half court a little bit more than some of those teams. So they're interesting to me.
So they'll get HKT tomorrow, who beat Lake Marion 54-45. And then at the final pod, Calhoun County beat Hemingway 79-49. And of course, you mentioned the Whale Branch score. So that's an interesting matchup tomorrow as well, Calhoun County and Whale Branch.
Yeah.
If you're going to get Calhoun County, you better get them now.
Yeah.
Because the further they get along in the season, the more cohesive they're going to get. And we all know what Coach Frederick can do in St. Matthews. Titletown is what we call it.
Yeah, man. And I don't know if you're aware, but Jeremiah Faber, who had a really good career at Ridgeland Hardyville, is now the head coach at Whale Branch first year. So I think they're kind of the same kind of team. There have been some teams that got them early, but once they kind of get accustomed to, because he likes to trap and press and those things and run. So as guys kind of get acclimated to his system and his style, I think they're going to be really dangerous down the stretch too. So that's a really fun matchup. I think that you get to cover that one, Whale Branch Calhoun.
Yeah, I'll probably be at that one tomorrow.
That'll be a good one. That'll be fun. Really fun matchup. Ridgeland North as well. So who are some other teams up in that Orangeburg area that have caught your eye early on that we ought to be aware of going into playoff time?
Well, I like North. They've already opened region play, and they have a win over Calhoun County. So that's big for them. OW is strong. I mean, they're always going to have players. They can make a run. If that defense holds up and they find, points at the right time. Lower Richland looks really good in that region, though. So that's going to be tough to manage. Bethune-Bowman, who is actually the only, county team that's not participating in this tournament, has had some decent wins to start the year. And they're getting votes in the 1A poll for the Basketball Coaches Association. So they have a fun athletic team to watch, and they'll be. They could make a run, but 1A is just going to be so tough, probably in the lower state this year.
It's going to be real tough. With that, a lot of solid squads and a lot of depth that's continually growing. But your thoughts on the high school league's realignment and how you think they did and fared in their decision making and how to handle all the multipliers and everything that went on about in that process. Just your opinion on what realignment is going to do and the effects that might have going forward. I thought they did a solid job with looking at what.
Well, it didn't really affect our schools that much. We have little town schools anyway that I think of the Bambergs and the Blackvilles and the places like that. You go to a Friday night football game, there's nobody in town because everybody's at the ball game. So I can see both sides of it. I like that those upper state teams don't have to play up and give some of these smaller town schools an opportunity. But I think that's really the only place it's going to affect is probably 1A and 2A. It just gives people a little bit more of an opportunity to go out and compete and maybe make a run where you don't have to run into a Southside Christian or a Christ Church or somebody like that.
A buzzsaw that has like 10 times as many resources as you do.
Well, it's so heartbreaking when you see these kids run up against one of these teams and they try their best and you go to them and you're like, because you want to console them, but you don't know what to say.
I know. You're like, I know, buddy. It wasn't really fair.
Yeah, but I think it'll be interesting. I'm a little anxious to see how they realigned the region down here. It's weird because you have Bamberg and Denmark. They're literally 3 miles from one another. One's in the upper state, one's in the lower state. So, I mean, I don't understand it, but I guess it's above my pay grade. So
that's right. That's right. All we can do is wrinkle up our nose from time to time and hope maybe somebody notice. But yeah, there's always some curious things. But I do think that that's going to be a positive change going forward for just the equity and parity of South Carolina high school athletics. So, but we appreciate you, Travis, and we'll definitely hit you up. And if your schedule works out later on in the week to catch us up on the rest of the tournament, we'd love to have you back on.
Sounds good. Just to let everybody know, you can catch all the scores and highlights at our website, tnd.com, and pods tomorrow, and then everything moves to OW on Thursday and Friday. So hope to see everybody out there.
Awesome.
Right on. Thanks a lot, Travis. We appreciate you, and check him out on Twitter and at the tnd.com.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Travis. Take care, brother. Travis Bowen from the Times and Democrat up in Orangeburg. Happy to have him hop on and fill us in on what's going up there. Out of town tournaments this time of year. I think Rob Benson and Will White will be up in Charleston this week as well for the Low Country Invitational. So we'll get some reports from them as the week goes on. We'll have a lowdown on Thursday and Hoops Report set and sail again on Friday night. So as well as the Lowco Grind on Wednesday, talking wrestling with all our friends. We got the Shark Invitational coming up this weekend. Let's shout out some sponsors while we have a moment. I don't have my sponsor page open, but I know them by heart. The MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports start with my wife, Megan Jarrett. I'm in the Thelma and Louise room at the on North Forest Beach at the family beach house for Christmas with my wife's family. But Megan Jarrett is the official realtor of Lowco Sports, and she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco. She's with Keller Williams of the Low Country. She can get you set up on a search so you can find a beautiful home here in the Lowco, whether it's a starter home or a forever home, even an investment property. It's a great time to buy, and this is a great real estate market. So check out Megan Jarrett, official realtor of Lowco Sports. And when we find that perfect home, we'll call on my friend Jan Lucas and his team from Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports. They're going to take care of you, make sure that you're making a great investment that is not going to become a big investment down the road, if you know what I mean. They're going to check it out, make sure that everything is in tip-top condition, and you get any repairs that are needed before you move in. And when it's time to sign the papers, we'll go to Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports and our original sponsors since 2017. Still with us today, Ryan and Tiffany, and the Mickelson Law Firm will take care of all your legal needs. And then hospice care of the Low Country. My favorite guy, James Disman, the CEO over there, his wonderful caring staff providing so many valuable services in the Low Country, including hospice care, palliative care, and free grief counseling. So check them out and definitely keep them in mind with your donation dollars. Hospice care of the Low Country. Those are our MVP sponsors. And now we're ready for the MVP of the Jags tonight. Ponce Capers with 27 tonight. Let's see if we can get you in here, PJ. What's up, man? We got you.
What's going on?
What's up, Ponce? Hey, great to have you back, man. We were kind of starting to get a little worried about the Jags. You guys kind of hit a little slump and lost a couple there, but it seems like you've got the ship righted now, and really a nice win for you guys tonight against Airport, 71-53, and you had a big night. Tell us more about the game and just about how this season is starting to unfold for Ridgeland Hardeeville.
This game we just tried to come in and focus on the little things, because we watch a lot of film and we just realized that we really didn't lose to nobody. It's really we just killing ourselves off little mistakes. So this game we just tried to key in on the little mistakes and just continue to trust each other, because we started off rocky, and we're just trying to go get quality wins along the way, just to build up confidence boosters going on to region play.
You're trying to be at your best by that point when you get ready for region play to begin, and you're certainly trending in that direction for big time wins. So congrats on a heck performance tonight. Tell me more about what you guys did, what you emphasize in practice and workouts heading into this tournament and what you guys did tonight to run past Airport and pick up an open win?
For the preparation, we really just tried to key down on getting better at defense, trusting our teammates to come help side. Really just the little things on defense, like, communication, just trusting each other. Really, that's the big part that we're
Yeah.
trying to get down, to just trust, because we have a lot of us that play together for a long time and some of us that's new, but we just trying to gel together right now, still as a young team, and just build a communication. That's all that is. But for the game, we just came into the game with a chip on our shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted it today. We just really focus on the defensive part because we know we got 3-4 guys that can score it at will. So we just try to focus on the defense and just get into our spots and just sharing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you guys had a new coach coming in this season, so there's always going to be a little bit of growing pains and just kind of sorting out what roles are and things like that. But it seems like the kind of the veteran leaders on the team have emerged and kind of gotten everybody on the same page. So tell me about some of the other guys who are stepping up for you right now around you and helping you guys get things back on track here.
We got I want to shout out my two guards, you know what I'm saying? Cam and Jordan, they do a great job. They are two starters, point guards. They do a great job on ball defense, passing the ball, and you know what I'm saying? Just being the scrappy dogs we need them to be, to just force the turnovers. I want to shout out to, he the muscle of the team. MJ, even though he's sick, he get majority of our rebounds. He do the dirty work that nobody really wants to do. The whole team, because, in practice, we try our best every day just to push each other, you know what I'm saying, try to make each other better. Just try to build each other confidence up because we know what each other can do. So we just try to, push each other every day.
Takes
So
everybody.
I gotta clarify something real quick. MJ is Winston, right?
Yes, sir, Winston.
Oh man, I'm so confused. When did he start being MJ?
That's been his childhood nickname. Like, yeah, that's
All
his
right,
childhood
I just
nickname.
had to clarify that because I was confused. I was like, does Winston have a twin that also knows me that I haven't? I don't realize I've met two different
Nah,
people. I was
Winston
real
and MJ,
confused
they
for
the
a second.
same person.
All right, I got you. Go ahead, Wes. Proceed.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, tell me more about the camaraderie of this group and the the work that you guys can put in, taking some lumps early in the season. Kind of, what did you take out of those first few games that you've been able to really correct and build off each other from as you proceed in this season and get ready for the meat of it coming up in region play?
We really, this kind of what we expected to come into the season, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to gel with a new coach and some new players. We just all just trying to find a common ground to where we can agree on. But, our coach, he does a great job with just trying to keep everybody in the gym as much as possible, because he sacrifices a lot. That's what a lot of people don't see, because I know a lot of people bash him on the internet and stuff, but what people don't see is actually how much he just be there for us, just encourage us to get in the gym, encourage us to work. Like, he don't mind taking the drive to come get you so you can come to practice. That's just the type of guy he is. So it's just really him just making the sacrifices for us to get in the gym as much as possible to get in our shots and perfect our game. But as a team, it's really a brotherhood, because throughout the years that I've been with these guys, we went through a lot of just a lot of tragic stuff, like family wise, but we was always there as brothers, whether it be like just being there talking, just sitting down, like going to funerals, stuff like that. So we just all just try to key in on the big family part. So we all just trying to get it together right now. And if we continue to play how we've been playing for, like, for the couple past 2-3 games, we'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, going through that kind of adversity together off the court and being together for that kind of puts things into perspective, and all of a sudden, losing 3 in a row is not such a big deal when you stood, next to each other at a funeral for a friend or something like that. Certainly. So you guys have weathered the storm. Here earlier, there were a couple that I think you felt like you let get away, like you alluded to, but back on track again tonight with a 71-45 win over Airport. And now you guys get North tomorrow. Were you able to? Did you guys hang around to watch the second game, or did you get on the bus back to Ridgeland?
Nah, we caught some of the second game. It just I mean, they really resemble a whole bunch of teams we played, like Creek, and like they just play fast paced like we do. So I mean, it really just comes down to we stepping up like we did tonight, just handling the ball, everybody being confident with the ball, and just embracing our defense because we trying to build them we just trying to build an image of being a scrappy defensive team right now. So if we just key down on defense, I feel like we'll come out there with another win.
Hey, when you win, you want to come back out there and do it again after you taste that feeling. So really excited for you. And this tournament's a grind. I mean, 4 games in 4 days, and certainly takes a bit more of a toll in terms of stamina wise, because it's a lot more of a grind compared to a normal weekly schedule where you maybe play 2 or 3 games a week, but you're playing potentially 4 in 4 in 4 days. So can you just tell me about that kind of grind, how you approach this, certain event, and maybe try to, you want to play hard, you want to expend energy, but maybe you want to also think about saving some in the tank for later on.
Yes, sir. We really just try to key in on just staying off our feet majority of it. Sometimes, it's getting kind of cold, so we don't want guys to get sick, but we know we try to get in the ice bath as much as possible as a team and really just stay off our feet and just relax before the games and during practices and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the way you want to do it. You want to make sure to relax and just to find ways to regather yourself in between these games. It could certainly be a grind playing that many in such a short time span. But tell me what you think about this region going forward. And you got an opportunity to go up against Hampton County, and a strong team that has been competing in deep into the playoffs, and a couple of tough teams as well, and Woodland and some others in that region. So tell me about the teams that you are going to play later on the season when it matters the most, and what you guys need to do to be at your best when that time comes.
Really just continue just to lock in on the defense. Because I feel like when we play at our best, I feel like we one of the most we one of the best teams defensively on the side of the ball when we all come together and play defense. But much respect to those teams, but I feel like if everybody come to play, we continue to do what we can do, we could come out the region with plenty of dubs, and just really it's just the opportunity to compete. That's what everybody look for on the team. Just the opportunity to compete. Everybody has a love for the game of basketball. So we just, either way it goes, we'll just be happy for the opportunity to compete.
Yeah, I mean, be blessed for an opportunity to continue to take the court day in and day out, and trying to work out some kinks on the other end with JJ. But tell me more about yourself, Jay, about your experience playing basketball over the years, and how special it is to play for this school with a storied tradition, a team that has competed for deep in the playoffs, has played for state titles in the past, and now you're trying to make it back there. So just tell me how privileged and how cool it's been to put on a Ridgeland jersey and play for this program.
It's real exciting, because when I was younger, I used to watch all the other guys go to lower state and, just continue to dominate. So we trying to bring that culture back, because I know the last 2-3 years after COVID has been a little rocky. So we just trying to bring that culture back as much as possible. And, it's just exciting. It's just exciting to be like in the Ridgeland jersey, because it's something that I always
Yeah.
looked up to, because the guys before me, they just gave a perfect example with Ridgeland basketball. It looked like, because, you know, they had a lot of dogs on that team, a lot of people that still some dogs right now. But as in
Yeah.
myself,
And Butler boys. And Butler boys were
yeah,
dogs.
there was a big inspiration to a couple of us coming up, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at them, how they dominated and how they represented our school, you know, and stuff like that. But for myself, just growing up, I really got into basketball late, because I was really a baseball guy. But, you know, it just, you know, I just continued to grow love for the game. And I had to sit down with my mom and stuff and told them that I was planning on going to the another level. So we just continue to put in the work and stuff every day, try to work on my weaknesses, my scrims, you know. And every time I step on the court, I just try to prove to myself and everybody else that it's really, when I put my mind to it, it's really nobody that really could stop me besides myself. So I just try to go into every game confident and just play to my best ability.
That's what it takes, man. Well, we appreciate you, Ponzi, and I know you got another big game tomorrow night, so we'll let you get some rest and get ready for another one. But we look forward to seeing you guys continue to have success throughout this tournament and throughout the season, and we'll talk with you down the road, man.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care. Ponce Capers, Ridgeland Hardyville Jaguars. I've really enjoyed getting to know that kid. I always had a smile on his face when I see him out at a game or something, comes over and says hi. And as you could see from that interview, good head on his shoulders. He's got his priorities straight. And I like that, that there's always going to be haters, especially when you got a new coach. I like that he stood up for his coach, and that's somebody inside the program who says, "Hey, man, this guy's doing a lot for us. He may not be doing
sometimes you don't realize
how you would be doing it, but he's providing for us in different ways."
And sometimes you don't realize other things are going on for the program.
Right.
You mentioned the adversity they had to go through, and having to tend to tragedy, and that's not easy during a season, any time of the year, and especially during the holidays. That's tough. And these kids did a good job persevering and getting back to it. And basketball can be, a good way to find ways to. It's not escape, but you can never escape tragedy entirely, but you can use it as fuel and empowerment to move on and grow from it. And I think these kids have done a good job of believing in themselves and bonding together through those setbacks to empower them on the court. And that's great to see for him and for that original community. You want to create a winning team. And this group has seen that in the past, and that gives motivation for him to try to rekindle what he saw in the past with those Butler brothers and some of those guys that came before him. So great head on his shoulders. I'm really impressed by just the qualities that he possesses as a leader, as a fighter out there in the court. And I wish him all the success this year, because I think they're starting to find something. And playing so many games in such a short time span, that's really going to grind and test you like few other opportunities will this time of year. So you're up against great teams, the rest of the way if you stay in the winners bracket. So if they keep it rolling, obviously a very tough test coming up tomorrow against what we've seen as a quality North side. So excited to see how they fare, but just even if they do fall short tomorrow, I mean, you got to think that this team is trending on the right track after a couple of blips early on. And for what he was saying, you understand, it's understandable. Like things like that happen, and you use it to, as I said, empower and fuel that entire group moving forward. And he's going to be a mainstay. He's going to be a big piece of what this team is going to put out there as we get further in the year, and that could be a fun region. Hampton County. I mean, it's going to be a fun region. Also, be a very tough region, and they're going to have to really grind even more, because wins will be hard to come by, and with that group of teams, that it's going to make you fight most nights out there in the court.
Yeah, no question. That's going to be a really solid region. I think Edisto might be a little down. I'm not sure how strong they are. But I think everybody else in there, Woodland, Hampton County, Ridgeland, Who am I missing? Somebody else is in there.
Yeah. Barnwell.
Barnwell. I'm not. Yeah, they're usually pretty tough as well. So it's going to be a battle every night, and we'll probably see some home and away splits as well. But I like the way this team's trending. And as you look at that schedule and the games they lost, like I know they blew a lead against Allendale, and that's the one that kind of got people up in arms. But they lost by 8 to May River, and then they lost badly at May River. They lost to Creek, but they split with Creek. They lost to Colleton County pretty bad at Colleton County, but Colleton County is the kind of team that if they get hot, they'll beat you bad. Like if they're not shooting well, it'll be a trap. But if they're shooting it well, they're going to beat you bad. Like that's
how to beat Airport by like almost 20 points. That's a nice solid bounce back win.
It's a nice whipping. And North's a top 10 team in 1A, so that's a really good test for them tomorrow to kind of see how much
that'll expose things. That'll expose things that you want to work on when you go up against a top 10 team in 1A. You're gonna find ways to improve after a game like that.
Oh yeah.
It's exactly.
I think Ridgeland is a dangerous team. I really do. I mean, he mentioned Cam Rice and Jordan Sanders, the guards who have been solid. Winston Smith is just a dog. Malik Aquamina is electric. And that's all in addition to Ponce. And then Jabian Harris is a kid who's got a lot of heart. Kalen Riddle's had a good game tonight. So, I mean, they've got a lot of parts that if they can get it going in the right direction and gain some momentum, they could be pretty dangerous. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do the rest of this tournament. And also Whale Branch, which had a nice win tonight as well. A lot of guys contributing. Kevin Jenkins with 18, Bradford Thompson with 16, David Evans with 13. So love to see that. And they got enough scores.
Well, that's another team that has struggled finding their stride. I mean, just based on what I decide with the rankings, and losing a couple to Buford, losing one to Creek. I mean, none of those games are.
They're all dog fights too.
The Buford, we've shown that they're going to scrap every night, and Jeremy Off has that team playing some inspired basketball this year. Creek they're a bunch of dogs too, so none of those games are going to be easy. But that's a nice way to start it back off and pick up a win in this tournament. But I think Favor's going to get this group, trending in the exact right direction as they get ready for, a 1A region that I think is very winnable. But at the same time, you got Bridges Prep and you got Allendale.
We got Bethune-Bowman. Bethune-Bowman's in there as well, who Travis mentioned, and that's a top 10 team as well. So it's going to be a scrap in that region too.
Yeah.
But I think what we have to remember with Whale Branch is these losses are against, number 3 team in 2A, and then a bunch of 3As and 4As,
right?
And they're close games. So I'm just not concerned about them. I think their depth is going to be superior to most 1A teams, and that's where they don't have that edge against the 3As and that. So I think they'll be fine. I'm not too concerned about them. This loss for Creek tonight too, the boys, they lost badly to OW, but that's a tough place to play. It's a home game for them in the tournament, and they're number 3 in 3A. That's a really quality team. So I'm unconcerned about that as well. Looking back at last week, Bluffton girls ended up winning that tournament. We talked about Mosley hitting the game winner against Greer. They beat Berkeley pretty handily in the championship game. I don't have it in front of me, but they beat them by like 20. So Bluffton girls are rolling into this Bobcat Classic, which is going to be a fun tournament. It says lost 61-40, but that's false. They won.
Yeah, we got a bunch of Lowco teams. We got Whale Branch, and then for both Hampton teams, Hampton boys and the Hampton girls in that squad, and then that Bluffton boys team. Once again, it's just hard to know what you think of that group, because they can be on it one night and then sometimes they take the court, they just don't seem as in sync, and when their shot isn't going and they're not rebounding the ball, it can be go the other way for them very quickly. So I think they have the talent, and especially with Brandon Bryant and Carnell Warren, the athletes are there, but just the consistency and just getting into to that basketball shape. I think that's going to take a little while, but I think the new coach over there at Bluffton, I think he's been doing a great job with who he has, and we've seen some other guys, in some big time games. I think the collective ability to win some close ones that we saw with Hampton County, that's, and you never know, maybe we'll see those two teams play again if things break a certain way. But that could be a fun rematch. But either way, I think this Bluffton's kind of a wild card team in a sense that I think they can beat or hang with anybody, but they can also lay an egg. And so, that's one of those situations.
Yeah, and I think some of that is, the new coach thing too that we talked about, where it's like it takes a while to get your footing, and you start to buy in, and then you have a night where it doesn't work, and the kids start to go, "Oh man, is this really it?" And they start to question a little bit, but then there's a night where it works, and they buy in again, and eventually you get a little bit closer to that 100% buy-in, and things start to go a little more smoothly. So, I think that's what this early part of the season is about when you are new to a program and you're trying to instill, the things that you want to see. And what encouraged me about the Bluffton program was the things Carnell had to say when we had him on, really positive about the environment, the direction, the morale, all those things. So I think they're going to be fine. I don't know that they're going to contend for the region championship, but I don't know that was the expectation either. But I think that's going to be a solid program, this year and going forward. Like you said, they're going to scrap with you. They're going to be in most games the way they play. They've had a couple of kind of head scratchers, but I expect them to be a little more consistent going forward. But looking at the girls bracket, Bluffton gets Forsyth Central, which is struggling. I think they're like 1-9. Whale Branch gets Cypress Bay out of Florida. So you would anticipate that Bluffton would face Cypress Bay in the semis. Woodmont out of South Carolina against Summit Country Day out of Ohio, and then Hampton County against Episcopal of Jacksonville. I don't know a lot about the out-of-state teams. I believe Summit Country Day has come in the past and been pretty solid. Episcopal of Jacksonville, I would guess to be good. Sounds like a tough quad.
Yeah. It's a 9 a.m.
And then the boys
get up bright and early.
Basketball for brunch. This is not tomorrow, but Thursday that this thing gets rolling. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right. Yep.
Then on the boys' side, Bluffton, Cypress Bay, Marvin Ridge, which is always a problem against Summit Country Day, or is that Summit County actually? Different school maybe. South Point, North Carolina, I believe they've been in the championship as well in this tournament against Episcopal, and Hampton County versus Marietta. That Hampton County team is going to be well tested in this tournament. I think they could win this thing, but I think they could also, drop a couple if they don't play up to the best of their ability. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in this bracket.
I expect that. I haven't known much about them, but that's going to be a test early on. And then if they get past them, Episcopal, Jacksonville, South Point, North Carolina, which you said has been a past champions event, semifinal is going to be a dog fight if they make it there. So I will be hopefully pumped to see that one. No matter who they play, they should be in for a hard-nosed afternoon Donnybrook, as you would say over there. But then this Bluffton boys team, that's a tough opener. Summit Country Day of Ohio. I feel like that's one of those games that you're gonna have to be on it from the tip if you want to hang with them. So Bluffton team has been hit or miss this year so far. Hopefully they come out swinging after that holiday break. So I'm excited for this Bobcat class. I think this is really excited to see the girls team because I said this a few weeks ago. I think they're starting to turn the corner. I totally am buying in to the improvements that this group has made. I think Decoy has really taken charge even more, but Jelena Mosley has just been an absolute dog and producer when the team has needed it. Myra Brown's taken a big step forward. So yeah, I think this group is really starting to gel together in a way we haven't seen even just last year. And now you have an opportunity to build on it and build up momentum in what should be a challenging 3 days of basketball for them.
Yeah, should be a really fun tournament. And we also we've had a good run of tournaments. You had the
Speaking
Seahawk
of, let's
Holiday
talk some
Classic last
Prep
week.
boys. Let's talk some Hilton Head Prep boys. I was
Yeah.
really impressed by this Dolphins team and what they were able to do to take third place in this tournament. And that was a scrappy win. Started off over a Hilton Head team that has competed well against the Lowco's best, but found a way to hang on in the end. And they played valiantly against the team that ended up winning the thing, the John Carroll School Patriots. It was like 9-0 after one quarter. Prep kind of hit a couple of shots to hang around. It was maybe like a 9-point game or so. And unfortunately, John Carroll started getting hot, and Prep just couldn't match him. But that John Carroll School played some tough, tenacious D. My goodness, I mean they were just continually on ball, and it was tough to find open lanes or open seams to get shots off. And Hilton Head Prep had to hit their threes, and they couldn't make enough of them to really stay in it in that first half. And then once Sean Carroll got hot in the second half, they kind of just pulled away from Hilton Head Prep. But I like the way they competed against that team, and they came back the next day and topped a really good university school team. And I know that they had that 4 overtime thriller the day before, and they had to come back with tired legs, but still, the way they handled it in that third game in 3 days, I was really impressed by what they did. And it wasn't just the top guys. Obviously, I thought Richie had a terrific tournament. I thought Connor Campbell was the big standout. That dude was freaking electric, and especially in that Hilton Head High game. But he kept it going throughout. And then a couple others who caught my eye: Brendan Moore knocking down some shots, Billy Barron hitting some threes, Cheap Patrick coming in and making some plays, the golfer, getting on the basketball court and playing hard minutes. Ben Fry, a couple of nice. He had one rebound, which was phenomenal. I think it was the Hilton High game, or if not, it was the last game. But actually, I think it was the university game where he just out manhandled a guy to get a keyboard down the stretch of that game. So, I love the effort that this team showed in this tournament, and that's a lot that you can build from as you get ready to jump back into skis of play and eventually skis 3A play. But I really like what I saw against a handful of tough opponents for the Hilton Head Prep team, and they're very well coached. They are very methodical in how they run the offense from what we've seen, but the way they've been able to lock teams down at times and make some big stops and play that relentless defense, they rebound well. I think it all comes down to whether or not they're able to consistently hit those shots, and obviously you have a terrific passer and just a phenomenal ball handler, Connor Campbell, who has really grown a lot this year, and he has asserted himself as the guy the straw that stirs the drink, the guy the offense runs through, because man, he's one of those players who can come up with some amazing either shot or pass or just some incredible highlight reel play out of nowhere to take momentum back for his squad. So Connor Campbell has been fun to watch, and that Campbell family has been on it this year alongside him and Courtney. But I really like what Hilton Head Prep did in this tournament.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I was impressed that they came away with 2 dubs, and in the winners bracket too. It wasn't like they lost the first one and then won 2 in the losers bracket, which you never know what that means. But they went toe to toe with the best in the tournament. So that was a good sign for me. We had Connor on last week after that win against Hilton Head, and he was great and provided some great insight that it took time, and it's the same thing we're talking about tonight. First half of the season last year, people were starting to fuss about what was going on at Hilton Head Prep, and oh man, the system doesn't fit and blah blah blah. And then they won a state championship, and now halfway through this season, it's like, whoa, they're way exceeding expectations. It's like sometimes you just gotta allow some time for things to settle in and for everybody to figure out where they need to be and what they need to do. And I think that's a great case study for it, that sometimes when you're patient and you just let it, run its course, it'll take care of itself. And they're looking awfully good. They're going to be a problem for people. I'm excited to see too how the Christians boys do in this Low Country Invitational. up in Charleston, which I've got a few games listed out. Carolina Invitational, I guess it's called. So Wednesday, we don't have a lot on the schedule Wednesday. The Carlton Prep Tournament's starting too, and I don't have a full bracket for that yet. Need to get that, Carlton Prep people. But Thursday, Hilton Head Christian girls play George Washington out of Virginia. Cross is also up there. They play Tuscaloosa in North Carolina. And then on the boys' side up there, Cross plays Johnson County, Tennessee, and Hilton Head Christian plays Skyline, Alabama. And then they just keep playing like teams from Kentucky and all kinds of cool stuff. So I love these holiday tournaments.
Wall to wall, 3 days of hoops from Thursday through Saturday. We got a ton of action. Not much here in town other than the Bobcat Classic, but we got a lot of holiday tournaments going on every which way. So that's kind of a fun thing to keep track of everything that's going on, and we'll have a lot to report on by next time we have a hoops report, because there's going to be a lot of basketball.
No doubt. There'll be plenty by Friday night for sure. Let's shout out our varsity sponsors. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for small businesses and nonprofits to help you get found online so you can do more and think bigger. They will help you fix up that search engine optimization on your website so that you can show up in those organic searches. When people Google, whatever near me, you want them to see your business. And this is the way to do it. Check them out at ddshhi.com and tell them that Lowco sent you. The Parker Law Group can help you with your legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing it for years, and now they've jumped on board to help us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Low Country. And Reverence Wrestling Club, the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m., talking high school wrestling and other combat sports here in the Lowco. And we'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow night because we got the Shark Invitational coming up this weekend. That's going to be great. Lots of wrestling to talk about over the break as well. We had a few tournaments last week, so we'll get caught up on everything happening in Lowco Wrestling thanks to Reverence Wrestling Club. If you want to take your skills to the next level on the mat, you got to get to Reverence. Those are our varsity sponsors, Wes. And what else? Anything else to check in on before we call tonight on this Boxing Day edition of the Lowco Hoops Report?
Yeah, we get some. I sent you some highlights from the Holiday Classic.
I haven't had a chance to get them edited. I'll try to get those up later on.
Maybe Thursday or Friday, but yeah, it was a great tournament, and I was impressed by that Sumter girls team that won it all. They beat Bishop Kenny in the finals, and man, they got some tremendous young ladies who really showed out in that final. Great back and forth. Both championship games were outstanding. Came down to the very end in both of them, and I was really impressed by what that Sumter Fighting Gamecock squad did, and especially Kara Krosky, who just had her way down the stretch in that one, took the MVP honors, despite Bishop Kenny and Claire Cool really able to dominate in close with her size. Sumter was able to hit a couple of key shots down the stretch, and then Krosky really took over to seal the deal. So, that's another team to look out for when you're talking about some quality squads in South Carolina to beat a perennial top team that has been and done well in this tournament in the past. That's doing something. So, big congrats there to Sumter. Leah Jackson taking the Hilton Head High alternate team spot, finishing in fourth place. Then on the boys' side, John Carroll taking down Archbishop Alter, and man, for playing a 4 OT game the night before, Archbishop Alter, I mean, what an effort they put on there on the floor, and they did that without RJ Greer, who was their star in those first two games. He did not play in the finale. Charlie Ewell was outstanding. They had a couple of other guys step up, but John Carroll and Caden Chinya, the MVP, a little bit too much for Archbishop in the finale. The Arctis Battle doing some work down low as well. So a really well-played championship game came down to the very end. The Patriots held on to, I believe, a 1 or a 2 point victory to finish off the event. 41-39, a 2 point win. Archbishop Alder had one last shot at the buzzer, didn't go through, and the Patriots held on. But what a terrific tournament! It was great to be doing the PA work over there. It's always fun. And that's a tournament I've seen for many years. And we've talked about the different squads that have gone through here, including a team from Australia. But certainly it was tough when we had to see it stop for a year because of COVID. But great to see that event continue to endure throughout the years and bring some quality squads here to the Lowco. And same for this Bobcat Classic coming up this coming week, because I'm pumped to head into that gym and especially see that Bluffton girls team. But there are a couple of guys teams, Hampton County. It's going to be a big week for them. It's a prove it week because there are some big name teams in that bracket, and if you can pick up a couple of dubs in that winners bracket, going to set yourself up well in terms of just confidence and the overall momentum heading into region. So big week for the Canes on tap for the girls and the guys, but especially the guys.
Yeah, I think especially when you're like a team that has playoff aspirations, state championship type aspirations, these tournaments are great because you got to see often various different styles back to back to back. You have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to have some different tricks in your bag, so to speak. And I think sometimes seeing that at this time of year and recognizing like, whoa, if we run into a team that plays this style, we're in trouble. It allows you to kind of tighten some things up and find some weaknesses and improve your chances once you get into the playoffs, because you don't know who you're going to see in the playoffs. I mean, even when you see the bracket, you still don't know for sure who you're going to match up with, and you just can't plan that far in advance. So I think getting into these situations where the opponent is kind of unknown, you don't really have time to do a lot of scouting or game planning, you just kind of got to go play and adjust on the fly, can help you be ready for that situation in the postseason. So I think it's good for teams to get into these situations. I hate when you see teams that forgo that, that bypass that. I mean, it's kind of every program is where it is, and some teams really could use the fundamental practice more than they need the frying.
If you're a playoff contender, especially if you're a state championship contender, this is the time of year you have to go do it. It is a must. I mean, just to see the competition that you go through. I mean, even if you take a loss or two, you have kind of the knowledge of what you have to do to get over the hump and to get to that next tier. So, it's such a great opportunity and really a win-win for, especially if you're going to these, prestigious tournaments. I mean, there's a difference between just going to the event, which, is hosted in the backyard and maybe just has some local teams. But, if you're going to an event that is seeking out cream of the crop and you got some big name teams from, the Southeast or from up in New England coming down, and you have elite competition, I mean, that is what you want to see this time of year, especially if you are a team that is planning on contending for a state championship, because that level of preparation and tournament mentality where you got to adjust and plan on the fly, you got to do quick scouting of your opponents and all that stuff that goes into winning the postseason, that's what you're doing now. And, to have that precedent in front of you to go through that early on in the season, certainly it's a little bit different when you because some teams that you kind of you'd be playing before, but that's kind of the same year. You got some local teams these tournaments too, but yeah, it's great experience for what you're going to see later on, and just an awesome opportunity all the way around, and it only can benefit you and help you as you go through the rest of the journey. So I'm excited. It's one of my favorite topics. Obviously, the playoffs are fun because there's a sense of finality, which makes the games mean even more. But this time of year with so much basketball and a lot going on in such a short time span, it's a ton of fun to cover and just witness and be a part of.
No doubt. And certainly, the tournaments, the other thing I think they do is force you to cultivate depth and develop players, because you're playing 3 in 3 days or 4 in 4 days. You're going to have to you can't just lean on 5 or 7 guys. You're going to have to get into the bench a little bit, and that's a great opportunity to bring those kids up to speed so they can help you out down the road. So great time of year, definitely for hoops, for wrestling, and just to be with family. I hope you had a a great Christmas,
Yeah.
Wes. I certainly did, and it was nice to have a little break. But I was looking forward to getting on here with you again tonight and talking Lowco hoops. It's been fun.
Yeah, I'm pumped to get back out in the gyms coming up on Thursday to this Bobcat Classic and watching a lot of hoops and seeing our squads test themselves. It's a fantastic time of year and had a really relaxing couple of days. You got to see some family and that's the best part of this time of year, to be able to celebrate when people come over and to spend some quality time. And that's what I love most about the holidays. So I hope you've been doing the same and continue to do it to these next few days into New
It's
Year's.
been
So,
awfully wet. It's been awfully wet. I'm ready to get
yeah,
outside. It's
I got
ADHD plus house full of
so
people plus rain, bad situation.
so
But
Santa Claus left a golf set or like a golf net. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to
nice.
use it because of the weather. So hopefully, we can get that going these next few days and
So
get
you'll
that
be
golf
able to get
swing.
out and work on the swing. Nice.
Yeah.
But we have a house here. We're on Hilton Head for the weekend. We've got 5 cousins in the house at the moment,
Very nice.
plus all the adults. So it's been amazingly quiet in this room for this show tonight. We'll see if that persists as the week goes on. And the internet held up too. So let's shout out the Lowco Booster Club before we call it a night. We've got Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. My guy Max over there will get you juiced up with your IV bag full of all the vitamins and minerals you need. The Court Lifestyle Pros, Low Country Natives, Daniel and Debbie Court, selling the Lowco Lifestyle on Hilton Head Island. So if you want to live the good life like them, give the Court Lifestyle Pros a chance. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, my guy Chris Odom will get your floors so clean that your feet will thank you. Commercial, residential, whatever you need. If you got a floor, he can get it clean. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Rooted Living Wellness, Dr. Ambrose Cole, best chiropractor I know. He will get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Eagle Creations, if you need promotional items, custom apparel, or custom gift baskets, go see Bill and Mandy over on Argent Boulevard, and they'll take care of you. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be, especially, but not only, if you need a haircut. Great place to hang out. Great folks always in and around Jay's Barbershop, and you got great tacos on either side. So you can't go wrong. Go see them in downtown Ridgeland. Those are the Lowco Booster Club for this season. And Wes, always great talking sports with you here in the Lowco. Any last-minute parting thoughts before we call it a night?
I'm really excited for what they're doing over there at Ridgeland. That's a big momentum-building win. Great to talk with their star tonight, and I'm pumped to see, especially for programs that have gone through not just adversity on the court, but adversity off it. So to see all that combined, for them to really show out to start the week and build some positive momentum to their favor, that's everything that you want to see this time of year. So Ponce Capers, a great young man, awesome to talk with him, and just an amazing leader. Those are the kids we love to interview. We've had a bunch of them this past year and even before that. So a great young man, and can't wait to talk to him again soon, and can't wait to see this Ridgeland Hardyville team take the court for a big opportunity tomorrow night.
Yeah, no question. You're right. I mean, Ridgeland Hardyville, Battery Creek, both having great seasons. It's good to see some of those teams that have been kind of fighting uphill for a couple of years start to get it going. Colleton County, I think, is poised to have a solid year as well. And then Hampton County has just been a great story all around. Obviously that county's been in the news for not the best reasons for a long time now. And to be able to see people making headlines for positive things and really the pride shown in that community for what their kids have done, not only on the football field, but now on the basketball court is really meaningful to me. I always love, going to a Hampton game because they show a lot of pride for their kids and a lot of appreciation for them. And definitely had a great moment the other night with Ian Lawson, getting in that game against Battery Creek and making the shot at the end. And we showed that, and it's been seen many times on Instagram and Facebook. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. Young man with developmental disability getting into the game at the end for Hampton County and making a shot, and the celebration with his teammates and among the crowd just said it all. And then the reaction on social media has been really rewarding too, to see how many people know him and he's touched their lives, and to be able to see him have that moment was touching for them. Our friend Gerald Freeman gave me a call to say, how touching that was. He knows Ian too. So good times. And it's great to see all the threads connected here in this Lowco community through sports. And I love to be able to weave them together and put the tapestry on display for folks. And grateful for everybody who's a part of it. Thanks to Travis Bolin from the Times and Democrat for his update on the Sweet 16 tournament up in Orangeburg. We may lean on him again later on this week to update us on what's going on up there. Thanks as well to Ponce Capers, star of the Ridgeland Hardyville Jaguars, still for one more year, for jumping on with us. And thanks as always to you, Wes, for being my co-pilot. Thanks to all of our sponsors and to everybody who came along for the ride. That's going to do it for this one. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.